I want you guys to look at this little short. This guy, Cosmic Skeptic, is the host, and he asks Jordan Peterson, the very deep thinking, Jordan Peterson. I mean, you can see how he's got his hand to his mouth and he's got his eyes all squinted and everything. You know, it's this deep thinking philosopher and whatnot. So did Jesus actually exit his tomb? Did Jesus actually rise from the dead? I want you to listen to this.
Know that a lot of Christians are frustrated when they begin asking about Jesus. It's a real human being. It's someone who's physically crucified by the
It's a
Romans.
very different question.
And then is seen as a physical entity by his disciples after he died.
Yeah.
So when somebody asks you, do you believe that happened? You tend to still speak in terms of the psychological and the mythological.
The truth of the matter is, with regard to the gospel accounts, that the mythological and the historical are inextricably cross-contaminated.
Sure.
There's no pulling out the historical Jesus.
A lot of people interpret Paul, for example, as saying that if Jesus did not literally rise from the dead, Christianity is undermined. If I went back in time with a Panasonic video camera and put that camera in front of the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, would the little LCD screen show a man walk out of that tomb?
That is such a good question, and I want you to listen to exactly what this guy's answer is.
I would suspect yes.
Which means that when somebody says, do you believe that Jesus rose from the dead? It doesn't seem clear to me why you're not able to just say, it would seem to me yes.
Because I have no idea what that means. And neither did the people who saw it.
Know that a lot of
Before we even start with this one, you know what's funny? Jesus told you to respond with yay or nay. Because there's no half. That's why it's so beautiful. The laws of logic. The laws of logic will have you say that there is no half truths. It's either black or white. Everything else is just expressions, and that's all it is. So yay or nay. You either know or you don't know. It's either yes or no, black or white. It's like this. It's like you have people adding things into certain movements, certain mixes. Like I've heard people say that, when you're straight or gay, but there's also something in between called bisexuality. See, I don't believe in bisexuality. Because if you're bisexual, you're really just gay. If you are able to sleep with somebody of the same sex, even if you still like the opposite sex, you're still gay. There is no in between. So this is kind of like that example I want to throw in there, because you're bringing all these possibilities in between, and it's either yay or nay. It's either truth or lie. That's all it is. I want you to listen to what I'm going to be basically speaking on here, and we'll go as we go along. See, Jordan Peterson fills crowds. He particularly talks to the younger men, right? And particularly, he's one of the ones that the way he talks about women is sort of questionable. I would love to debate him, because I can almost guarantee that I can corner him and he wouldn't know what to do with himself. And here's the thing when it comes down to this particular question of Jesus Christ. You see, this is the thing. He's intellectually trying to know all these things. He does not know Jesus, or he does not know God. He does not know. He thinks he knows what he knows. And he's able to elaborate these words. And when he's asked, what is God? He puts this long, entire philosophical answer that it just loses people. And he just sounds so smart that people just, for some reason, flock and gravitate toward that. Kind of like when I was watching the whole Terrence Howard and Eric Weinstein debate. I mean, it's like people did not know what the fuck they were talking about. Yet they're watching and giving opinions. And then flocking towards saying that, oh, they're so smart. They're not smart. They're smart because they were able to intellectually put what they read in a book and regurgitate it back to you. That's why they're smart. You know what an abundant man is? An abundant man, you would think he's the one that has the mansion, he has all the resources, and he can buy whatever the fuck he wants. Yes, that is abundance. But there's another form of abundance. And I've actually experienced this abundance in many different avenues. The abundance I'm talking about is, suppose you needed something, okay? And you didn't have the resources, but somehow, some way, shape, or form, it just happened to fall on your lap like a miracle, like miraculously, for you to be able to acquire what it is that you needed. Same way with anything. Let's talk about knowledge. You can learn all the knowledge in the world. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is like money. You know, people have money. They want to flaunt their power and throw their weight around because they got money. Some people have so much knowledge that they want to go out and they want to debate and they want to basically smash your brains in with this. It's like The Walking Dead, the zombies. You know, like you can't really kill a zombie by shooting them in the body, the heart, the lungs, nothing. You have to kill them. You have to stab them right in the fucking head. This is basically what I'm observing. The Walking Dead. There's nothing, just intellect. The body is dead. Everything's gone. So you're running on just intellect. So that's why you want to intellectually destroy the other person through debating them and flexing how much knowledge you gained from a book. Real abundance is when you have questions. God, the universe, the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, the answers just somehow appear to you. For you know what's funny? It's like it rearranges everything in your brain, because there's like a hard brain coherence, because everything's just working like a well-oiled machine. Whenever you want to know something, everything just kind of arranges itself for it to be able to make sense, for you to be able to portray the message. So you don't have to know everything in the world, but the moment you need to know something, you will know it right then and there on the spot. That's true abundance. That's true power. You know, that's true power. Money, you could have all the resources. Yeah, you're rich in this physical realm. But if you need something, the money just appears. You're somehow in harmony with the universe, with life, where it works for you. Chemistry is working for you, masculine and feminine. Your mind is right. So you would say, man, that guy's got them angels watching over him because he's somehow, that's a lucky guy. And I mean, a lucky guy. See, luck is something you could create, right? You create this with the proper mindset. You create your own luck. The L-U-C-K, the L you seek, okay? Masculine energy is what it's all about here. But it needs to be backed up by a very strong feminine energy as well. I'm going to explain to you why I think this way about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson does not know God. He does not know Christ. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's you know, one of those things that you really have to point out. When you look at you're a baby in the womb of your mom, okay? You are coming out into the world through that portal, okay? You are literally entering the kingdom of heaven as we speak. The moment you come out the womb, you're still attached to the umbilical cord of your mom. You're entering the kingdom of heaven. And to enter the kingdom of heaven, you have to be childlike, right? So you come in as a child. That's symbolically what's happening when you're coming into the world. You notice how when you get to be in old age, right, you kind of become a baby again. But you become a baby, you're supposed to actually be a wise old individual, like either a man or a woman. You're supposed to be wise. But you should be wise enough to not have any burdens, any weight, no regrets. Okay, and you should be able to have the wisdom of a very, very wise person, but with the innocence of a child. You're going back into the womb, right? Because this is the funny part. Even Terrence Howard said this, and this is why it makes sense. You go from masculine to feminine. So when you become the man here, you go back to feminine. Okay? And when I say feminine, is basically like childlike. Okay? Because I said that women and children are feminine energy. They are guided by masculine energy. The head of the household, and we're talking about energy, is the masculine energy. So that's why it's Christ in man. Now, here's the thing. Woman is a kind of man. She's a kind of man, but because she's a symbol of the negative polarity, she's technically the child of the god of the negative polarity. So we would call that Satan. And Satan is not a bad guy or a good guy. It's just a negative polarity. But when we are in a state that's imbalanced, then it's going to appear to be bad to you as far as perspective goes and as far as fulfilling a social contract, because the world is set up a certain way. So you come into the world as a child. You're childlike. You come into the kingdom of heaven. Bob Proctor said this. You are born rich. Everything that's of the negative polarity, meaning poverty, lack, disease, is all just bad ideas that you buy into as a parent, and you pass that down to your child. The child is closer to God than anything else. Why does a child throw a temper tantrum when he doesn't get what he wants? A child does not know lack, but we correct them and tell them, no, you shouldn't do that. There's not enough, Or if they get angry, we shut that down. We shut that shit down. And what I'm going to be shutting down is the bullshit that I'm hearing. But you do not shut a kid down if they get angry. Learn how, teach them how to channel that anger. You see, the whole selfishness thing. And when I say selfish, notice they got a toy. They mainly don't like to share their toy. It's like we look at that as a bad thing, but in actuality, it's something that when it's exercised and it's balanced and it's refined and tuned, it's a very, very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool. Anger is a very powerful tool. But one of the things is to learn how to channel and manage anger. And it's like an imbalanced sexual energy. Sexual energy is extremely powerful. But if it's used correctly, it's fucking crazy. Shit, there's no limits. Let's talk about the topic with Jordan Peterson over here. You come into the world, you're abundant. You're closer to God. You get passed down bad ideas. Okay? We're supposed to guide a child. A child grows, okay? Do you notice how when you're at your prime, such as I'm guessing the people who watch my videos, when you have out-of-body experiences, there's people who have accounts saying that there's a silver etheric cord attached to their etheric body. Okay? When you come out of body, your body is the body of Christ. But you see, the whole programming goes deep. It all starts from how they told you the pyramids were built, and they tell you what a real man is that has to do manual, hard physical labor. They'll tell you that the pyramids were built a certain way that they weren't. Because even replicating today's technology, it wouldn't even be possible. And it's not even this design. It's just the way they were aligned with certain star constellations. The chambers being aligned with certain points and stars and whatnot. Certain things in it, like sarcophagus. There's like meditation chambers in there. Stuff that we have no understanding about. It's kind of like saying your heart, pumps blood and measures cardiovascularity. But there's so much more on a deeper level to your heart that a lot of people don't understand. They'll just look at what the physical aspects of the heart is, when there's a lot more to the heart of the human body. There's a lot more to a person than what you think a man is supposed to be. There's a lot more to that. See, proper chemistry, electromagnetism, okay? We were able to move shit. We were able to move mountains. We were able to do supernatural things. Things that we stopped doing because we created technology to stop using our body, which is crazy. Man created in the image of God. It's more like God. The image of God was created out of you. They anthropomorphized it. You are the walking God. So now you created technology in the image of man. Look at robots. Robots, you created it to look exactly like a humanoid. AI, the pixelized shit that you see online, is also created in the image of you. And the more real and lifelike it is, the more technologically advanced you deem it to be. If you stop for a second and disconnect from all that, what can be more technologically advanced and lucid and clear than what you're actually experiencing now? You notice how you put the metaverse goggles and you're like, oh my goodness, so real. Everything looks so real. When you take that off, I mean, my experience, this is by far one of the most technologically advanced things I'm experiencing right now. Look how clear and lucid it is. Look at this shit. I'm touching a fucking, like, it's just like amazing. When you're sleeping, sleep is the cousin of death. You go through these mini deaths every fucking night. You go into the dream realm and you're not even aware. Why are you not aware? Because you're just falling asleep. You don't go to sleep. You should meditate to sleep and you'll see that you start to exercise your Christ consciousness, your self-awareness. But it requires focus. Because you can actually observe yourself even coming out of body the moment it happens. The moment you actually feel your body fall asleep, you can come out of body. You can feel yourself waking up, and in the brink of, before you even wake up, you're aware. That's what I'm talking about, the self-awareness part. You develop your spaceship. How do you know that when you die, if you haven't developed your self-awareness here, developed your spaceship, you're just nothing. And you are basically kind of steered hypnotically into whatever you think this reality actually is again. Sort of like a prison or a prism. So you haven't developed that Dine be single, the body fills with light. You haven't turned on the lights. So you actually die and you start to look for light and instead look for the next womb, or, you know, you are actually the light. You realize you are the light the whole time. But here's the important thing. You come out of body and walk out of your body when you have out-of-body experiences. But do you notice how it's very hard to stay out? Whenever you have human activity happening, such as like excitement, fear, emotions, certain thinking patterns start to happen, then you pop right back in. That requires focus, even in that state. When you die, you come out and you walk right out of your body. That cord is cut the same way when you come out the womb of your mom and that cord is cut. As within, so without. As above, so below. But they program you to think this is a physical thing. Jesus Christ, suppose it, because this is the greatest story ever told. But suppose it that you want to take this literal, you cannot, the body will not come up. What is he? He's part of the Walking Dead zombie land? I mean, it's basically what's happening here. You wake up every day as the Walking Dead, intellectually trying to bash everybody's brains in. The walking Martians. So I want you to think about this, though. When you come out of the body, okay, you walk out. That's a metaphysical experience. The body stays behind. You never take your body with you. But the thing is, they program you to believe these things. You're so attached to your body is everything you know of in your reality. So for you to be light as a feather, everything stays behind. You not taking the body with you. The same way if you're in a dream and you had $1 million, do you bring that here into this reality? Is that possible? Can you change the frequencies and manipulate it to have it be physical here in this realm? The only thing you have is your imagination, the image of it. And you bring it and ground it here to some extent. What do you think we did with Jesus Christ and how that image became so powerful here in this reality? It took a teamwork for that reality of Jesus Christ to be a real thing and that energy to be that strong. When you go out of this world, is that even possible? Why have we never replicated that the same way we never replicated the pyramids? We have, see, they gave us too much technology now where we're able to see if it's actually true that you can leave this world. So they make you think you can leave this planet to go to the moon. They're trying to inhabit Mars, all those conspiracy theories and whatnot. It's all programming to make you think that that's the only way you can do things. For you to go to the moon, Saturn, Pluto, you can go anywhere you want at the comfort of your own motherfucking sofa. But it's not going to require you doing any physical activity. You could do that shit from the comfort of your own sofa. Because those are all coordinates in different areas of your body. Your body is the mind of God. The skin is the brain. Your skin is the brain of God. How crazy is that? You think so much that everything here is the most important thing. You go and you try to pick up as much knowledge as possible, especially from other men who wrote books written by other men. And you call yourself a God man or a God woman? You know, I utilize people as tools. I listen to what they say. I do. But when you align with truth and with God, the puzzles come together on that spot when they need to appear. And you know the answers because you're aligned with the all-seeing eye. The pituitary gland is the feminine side of nature. That's regenerative, growth, restoring. And somehow when you fast, it enhances the growth hormone in your body. It actually helps your endocrine system. You blast more testosterone through your system and steroids than you can possibly ever think of. And these steroids can be used in many different ways. Vitality, life force. It can be used in many different ways. Not just building muscle. You know what's funny? They talk about the pyramids and whatnot. There's been accounts of certain very skinny women, all right, who lifted a 3,000-pound car off their father when the jacks gave out. And because it was an emergency mode, the adrenal glands, everything kicked in. That adrenaline kicked in, that they were able to pick up a 3,000-pound car off of the father. This was a story I heard, which is an account of one skinny girl who picked up a 3,000-pound car off her dad because the car was on top of her dad, killing him. And this is just further showing that you have abilities that are dormant and hidden that you have no idea how they work. And it shouldn't even be only in emergency purposes. These things should be activated and accessed at will, but they atrophied. Your mind believes that you have limitations. You are limitless. And you listen to these people like Jordan Peterson, a bunch of big speakers who don't know God. They don't know God. We have too many things here with questions unanswered. Area 51. Why all the secret there? The little green men, the flying saucers, it's all you. It's your body. It's your body that they reverse engineered. Trying to figure out how marketing works. They pay billions of dollars in marketing for that reason. They want to know how to have control of your heart space. Because if they control your heart, they control you overall. They think it's all MK Ultra mind control. The mind that they're controlling is your heart, not your brain. Because that heart is under control, it alters certain brain waves. You get past negative programming into the subconscious part of your brain. That's the feminine energy. That's like leaving your woman's leg open for anybody to go in and get her pregnant and infiltrate anything that they feel like corrupting her. Leave the legs open, impregnate her. She gives birth to certain things. Those are seeds planted in your mind, and then you live a certain reality. Do you want to keep your woman's legs open for anybody to just go and do as they wilt? Not my woman, baby. Now, the only way that you'll know is by going in there yourself as a God, not as a human. You have to go in there as a God with no judgment, unbiased, no expectations, and just be grateful for what's coming next, regardless of what it is. When you die, you walk out of the body, not a physical thing. When you leave this planet, you leave this planet because the planet is a reflection of your body. The whole planet. Is it flat or round? It just depends on how much of the lands you've explored within you first. If I see the world like this, it looks kind of flat, right? This is the dome. Once I start to take the deep dive, right? And then all of a sudden I start to form shapes. You start to see that the planet is just a wave. That's why quantum science is one of the most difficult sciences to debunk. The observer theory will tell you that it's just based on observation. You know what's funny is if you want the world to be round, you'll have information presented to you to back up your claims, and you go on an airplane, and because you believe it so much, the world will start looking very round to you. And that vice versa with a person of flat earth. They go on an airplane, the world looks super flat to them. They'll find anything possible to back up their claims because that's just how the law works. When you want to seek information about health, if you ask the wrong questions, you'll get answered depending on the type of question you asked. Because there's different areas of how to address a dis-ease state in the body. You got the holistic, you got the naturopathic way, you got the pharmaceutical way. Depending on how you ask the question, the answers will come from the root or the origin of whatever department suits best according to the question you asked. If I type in, what causes diabetes, you'll get a bunch of sugar names pop up. Sugar, sugar, sugar. But if I type in a direct question, does animal protein cause diabetes? You'll see a bunch of different studies showing that that's what causes diabetes. So what happened to sugar? Well, sugar, if it's complex sugar, these man-made artificial sugars, then what does that convert to in the body when it's not used? Fat. So what is diabetes? Diabetes is fat in the cells. An inflammatory condition in the cells. So then when you look at it from this perspective now, it's really not sugar. Because you can't get diabetes by eating only watermelons or only grapes. But I can show you studies showing that if you eat a lot of meat or only meats, you can more than likely develop type 2 diabetes. And I'm not a medical doctor. Do your own research. None of my stuff is backed up by medical science or medical claims or medical studies. Just do your own research. I'm just making content. But these are things you could check yourself. What eliminates fat from the body more efficiently than anything else aside from just exercising? Breathing properly. You breathe properly, you oxidize fat. Why when you work out, you breathe harder, right? But you can also do this without actually exercising. You can breathe better, breathe harder, consciously breathe. That's spirit. Everything that you're experiencing are nothing but low vibrational states in the body. And breathing, you can actually have a self-exorcism like that if you're using your imagination. You can give yourself spiritual baths. And you could do this at the comfort of your own sofa through your mind as well. Or you could even just do this. Just take your hand and just clean it out with your proper hands. Clean everything out using your imagination, and then grab things and then just throw it out. If you feel like you got a blocked throat chakra, clean it, grab the dirt, throw it out. Eat some blue stuff, blueberries, right? To cater to that center now, because you're eating a higher vibrational food. Don't go eat a blueberry muffin. Blueberries. You see? If you have something wrong with your sacral plexus chakra, eat some oranges. I mean, it's just cater to that color. Eat to that color. Eat simple chemistry. If you have an issue in that particular area, whether it's blocked or you have a diseased state. Simple chemistry. Keep it simple. The body knows what to do when you stop giving it so much complexity. People know what to do when you stop giving them so much complexity. I don't know if I had to cover anything else. With Jordan Peterson, he's answering it intellectually. And in this state, you're not going to know the answers. You're not going to know the answers. You're in the kingdom of heaven right now. Right now. This realm is powerful because the realm of possibilities, infinite possibilities, means that you have negative and positive. The negative could be used to your advantage, but it can also be detrimental to you if it's in an imbalanced state. God resides in the lowest extremities of your body. You guide that energy up. It's a feminine energy. I'm going to make the next video. Yeah, before I go on, I also want to cover this. I mean, when you look at this experience, it's by far one of the most lucid, most advanced pieces of technology you can possibly think of. Suppose you got into the metaverse and you somehow forgot you were in the metaverse. And then all of a sudden in the metaverse, they are introducing to you a new form of technology in the metaverse. And it's not as lucid as when you're in the metaverse, because you forgot you're in the metaverse in a technology. So it's the example I'm trying to throw out here, that the experience you're experiencing right here and now is by far the most advanced piece of technology, but it's only possible because you're experiencing it through your human body. Your human body is the technology. Your human body, the body is the church. That's the feminine energy. The church, the body of the church is feminine. The head is masculine. Get your head screwed on right. Don't lose. You could lose your mind, but we'll get into another video as to how even losing your mind is beneficial. And this is what happens to old senile people, but the way it's happening with them is not beneficial. So I'll just leave you at that. So I don't make this video too crazy, but you need the masculine and feminine. That's the chemistry. It's how things work. On Adam and Eve, masculine and feminine. And how that manifestation of what you see outside of you as man and woman is the image of God. Negative and positive polarities. And they're supposed to work together. The same way I said that black people are the expression of... And when you hear that's the image of God, don't think about the religious God. Just think of the awareness part. Like you're aware of something. You realize and recognize something. That's basically God. You're awake to the experience or the game or the matrix or whatever you want to call it. It's that awareness. The masculine and feminine is the chemistry that makes it possible for you to actually experience that, though. Feminine energy, they can be in the sun longer. They deal with white magic, while the men who cannot be in the sun as long should be dealing with black magic. This is what the people in power do. You say they're white people, right? Only thing you may not be noticing is that they use black magic to their advantage. That's why you say, oh, there's so much satanic shit. You're demonizing it instead of using that tool to your advantage. There is no bad and good. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.